Hold out your arms. Oh boy, jungle supplies. Jumbo hoop, umba hoop, umba jumbo hoop. This fun, Barzanga. Right on, Lee Samba. Umba.
Last time we did cartoon event episodes and that paid a couple bills, so let's spin the block and do some cartoon TV movies. 6 movies, all aired on television, all shows that I love to death. These are cartoon TV movies. I'll probably do another one, so it's okay if your favorite's not in this one.
Hey! Wait, you just not gonna enjoy yourself now? Hello?
This ain't televised, they telling lies, but promise I won't. We've been patronized, they taking lives, I'm on my way home. Relax my mind about half the time I'm watching cartoons. For knocks how I'm locked in my room. Of course they resemble my skin when I watch too. Hypnotizing, tannic, how I falling through the vibes. Okay, dreaming mama's proud as if she looks through Penny's eyes. I'm a man of the house like Oscar. With a Steve, I believe need Oscar. James Earl when I speak, I'm a Fossa. Gotta swerve in the streets, never block us. I go, feel more, just try to make you feel more. Through the halls I felt storms. Looking at me cause I don't like what you like, you feel torn. Should've smacked your light slick back, you ain't seen pimpin' before. For the stars I shoot pimpin', no boy, you best check the score.
Tonight, it's Disney Channel's first original animated feature.
Let's rock.
Disney's Kim Possible movie, So the Drama. She's taking on the bad guys. Farewell, Kim Possible!
As if.
Taking it to the limit.
Let's go mission mode.
But who is she taking to the prom? Disney's Kim Possible movie, So the Drama. Tonight at 8/7 Central on Disney Channel.
Nigga, now this is a fucking movie right here. 2005, 19 years ago, if you're really trying to feel ancient, saw Kim Possible, So the Drama. Disney Channel's first animated DCOM. Kicking off a long line of 2 fucking movies. This starts with the coolest version of the spa opening that a lot of cartoons do.
Doesn't matter where.
Oh, there go Raven, watch out.
I'm not about to hire you if your name is Watermelon Andrea. It's just not gonna happen. Oh my goodness, we have a problem.
Draken steals a Japanese OC and creates an army of toys or something. I don't know, I'm so bad at this plot summary shit. Prom's coming up too, so it's one of those stories where Kim has to face both of the biggest versions of what she faces on a daily basis. Draken's greatest plan that really looks like he'll succeed for once, and the prom, which I'm told little white girls really care about. They acted like the prom was the damn Source Awards. I ain't even want to go to my shit. I love Kim and Monique talking about girl stuff in the middle of the opening fight.
Monique, off or on?
On again!
How many times can 2 people break up and get back together?
She loves the drama.
It really helps illustrate this idea, showing the 2 sides of who she is and how she has to juggle them at the same time. That's kind of Monique's role throughout this entire movie, to really ground Kim while all of this bigger stuff is happening around her.
Girl, I just went from so to whoa.
Huh?
It takes a while to learn Monique speak.
What? She not a fucking Digimon, nigga. What the fuck that's supposed to mean? Most people remember this one for being the moment when Kim and Ron fell for each other. That shit was such a huge deal back then. This nigga got to date the homie? I remember going to school back then thinking like, can I date the homie? Fuck. Alright, where were you the first time you heard Could It Be? I'll tell you where I was at.
Fetal position. Fetal position. Fetal position.
These jokes are really bitter. I should probably make some phone calls after this. Damn, they told us that they kiss in the promos? I don't even remember that. Fuck they do that for? Speaking of though, I think this time around I struggled to follow Kim's arc with Ron a little bit. Because early on, right, it feels like the reason she doesn't want to fuck with him is because he's not like a cool guy. That stuff with Bonnie from the top of the movie really sticks with her about the social ladder and all that.
Zero your ego, Kim. Brick, sweetie, I'll come over when you're done working out. 2 hours? Okay. Oh, and don't shower. I like it when you glisten.
What the fuck, fam? Don't make me turn this shit off. And I think the point of Kim ending up with Ron is supposed to illustrate that those things just do not matter. That above all else, if you love somebody and somebody was always there for you, that really is all that matters. And that's facts, and it's a great thing to tell the preteens that this was made for. I just don't think we actually get to see Kim get to that point like we do Ron. Throughout the movie, people are dangling the idea of dating Ron in her face. And she rejects it, and it kind of feels like her character turn really just comes from Ron saying that he has feelings for her.
You really think there's a guy out there for me?
Out there? In here?
Oh,
Really?
But I don't know if that's enough for me in this movie. When you look at something like this with the totality of the show, like a kid in 2005 was supposed to, and like I definitely did back then, you know that this was just right in front of them all along, regardless of if it's in this movie or not. And as a kid, right, you don't care about Kim's arc and how she got there. You care about could it be? You care about that kiss. But I think the reason that I start to get conflicted is because they actually do give us all of this with Ron already. We follow him, we're with him the exact moment that he understands that he loves Kim.
Thanks, buddy. I think I'm ready. Not just for the dance either, but to do what no man should ever have to do. Talk about his feelings.
Oh boy, do I have the fucking YouTube channel for you. This nigga says that he likes her, and she deadass says, oh. Oh? That's what I tell y'all when y'all ask me for... Next thing you know, they holding hands and shit. Like, I don't know, it just kind of feels a little flat to me. They do a lot of character work with Ron throughout this thing, which is good because this man ain't on shit in none of the fights. I swear he was more useful in the cartoon. There's so many times where Kim starts turning up and this nigga is just fucking worthless. But they spend a lot of time breaking his character down so that the final beats really hit. This shit really is just about the decay of man. Bueno Nacho closing down was the last straw. It really helps hammer in that my boy was just fucked up. This nigga losing everything. His homie, his food spot, his parking spot. Bro ain't have shit to his name by the 45-minute mark. Not to mention, bro fights Draken every damn day after school, and he can't even remember his damn name.
Very well. What's his name again? Whatever, you know who you are.
I mean, come on, it's really not a hard name to remember.
Ron?
Yes, thank you.
This guy, Eric, is new to the school, and Ron shows him around, but bro immediately bags Kim. And not only that, but they gotta save him too.
Kim, what's going on?
Ah, nigga soft.
Hey, Eric's cute. Once you're out of the picture, maybe I'll date him.
Hey! How old is he? But it doesn't matter because he was a fake all along. Bro was made out of goop or some shit. They kill the shit out of old boy. Oh, I'm melting, face ass. The opening fight and chase scene is some of the coolest shit animated for TV during the 2000s. The bright colors for the background and the night colors on the characters. The perfect look right out the gate to make this thing feel bigger than the cartoon it was based on. This cartoon has some of the best blocking, the best posing I've ever seen. Almost every frame of this is just the smoothest gesture. Whoever drew some of this shit need a pussy ate. They literally could have not touched this movie at all and threw it in the theater. It looks that good. This was around that era where so many cartoons that we grew up with just went to theaters in a way to jock Rugrats' success. And I swear this thing looks better than almost all of those, including the Disney ones. It looks better than the Recess movie, better than that Doug shit. That's that Roger. Better than the Hey Arnold movie. Fuck both of them shits. And the only reason it doesn't look better than the Powerpuff Girls movie is because literally nothing does. There is action all over this thing. They sold it to us on the character drama, but every single chance they get, somebody throws a damn punch in this thing.
Ah, bitch.
I know that wasn't a punch, I just really fucking love Family Guy. I really admire how they created the danger in this movie without losing the tone of the cartoon. Draken doesn't get super threatening out of nowhere like Mojo in the Powerpuff Girls movie, old ape ass.
You are so whacked.
Faux shizzle, she gizzle.
Man, what?
Oh no, are you trying to be hip again?
Word to your mother.
This Kim Possible shit finna make me mad, son. The fact that Draken's kind of a joke is kind of what starts to freak the other characters out about him succeeding. It's less about him actually being threatening this time around and more about just things working in his favor, like Kim's dad being the one that has the blueprints he needs.
Ooh, irony. And it's in my favor this time. It's not ironic, it's just coincidental.
And the fact that he really does almost succeed makes the win for the characters even better. Like, get this big ass Smurf the fuck out of here. Main characters of kids cartoons closing the cop door on villains is my favorite kind of shot in animation.
Tell it to the judge, you big donut hole.
Hey, who's taking me to preschool?
Fucking soda drama, bro. What you want me to say? This is still one of the coldest things Disney Channel's ever put out, and that includes Andy Mack. This is not a joke. That Andy Mack shit is actually kind of gangster. This thing will put you right back in them early 2000s, I promise you. Fam, they play my shit at the prom. I almost threw up in here. What a fucking time to be alive, son. While Kim doesn't quite get the arc I anticipated, it's still fun, it's funny, the animation is next level, just the perfect escalation of the cartoon. I think that's all I have to say. What else do I have in my notes? Is Wade a mystical Negro? I don't don't want to talk about this, man. What the fuck, man? Where's Stewie at?
Seriously, Kim, Kevin's a super kid. The other fellas on the chess team really look up to him.
Oh, yes, Dr. Gooberman. Kevin's got game.
Ooh, better hop off.
Oh, I got next. Real quick, today's video is actually brought to you by Factor. I'm not even gonna beat around the bush this time. I straight love this Factor shit. Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals make eating better every day way more easy. Wherever tomorrow takes you. Be ready with pre-prepared, chef-crafted, and dietarian-approved meals delivered right to your door. And there's even more to enjoy with over 55 nutrition-packed add-ons that help make your weekly meal planning even more delicious. Meals take 2 minutes to prepare. Just poke some holes, pop it in, take it out, and you got a nice
big meal.
After that last read I did, I was copping Factor every week. It is a different kind of ease when you don't have to wonder, damn, what am I gonna eat in the middle of editing? I went veggie this time, and all these were definitely gas too. But like anything to do with like chicken or salmon is definitely the truth. I'll be in here about to cry. They also sent me these wellness shots. Yum. This joint got me feeling like Popeye. Be fast, be fresh, you'll never go hungry again.
What's that?
I could eat.
Can't vibe on an empty stomach. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code TOONRIFICTARIQ50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and free wellness shots for life. 2 free wellness shots from 3 available flavors for each order while you're an active subscriber. TOONRIFICTARIQ 50 for 50% off.
Some kids say number 0's victory that day was the dawn of the 7th age. Others say there is no book of K&D. I believe the book exists. I am Kids Next Door.
Y'all boys was begging for this Operation Zero shit, I tell you. I love Kids Next Door, bruh. The only reason I haven't done a full video on it is because I could never come up with a good enough idea for an acronym using retrospective. I always get to like the P and just give up, and I refuse to call the video anything else. Father steals the recommissioning module and brings back his OG, grandfather, who I guess used to force kids to make pudding before his son shot him? Everything grandfather touches turns old. Like me, everything I touch says nigga. At least that's what the white homie told me. Why else would he say what's up my nigga after I dapped him up? Pretty soon, grandfather turns almost the whole planet into senior citizen zombies. Just a bunch of people aging against their will. Like in real life.
Number 60 reporting for duty. Oops, I wet him.
Look at all them hotels, shit coming like Monopoly. Nigga got boardwalk and shit. It's up to number 1, who enlists the help of the legendary number 0 to step in and save the day. I remember as a kid thinking that I hadn't really seen anything like this before. It was just reveal after reveal after reveal, and everything just kind of happens to number 1. He reacts every time exactly how you'd expect a kid to react to stuff like this.
Bro's daddy is number 0, and he been fighting his uncle the whole show.
And you're supposed to be the smart one. I'm your dad's brother, Benedict. Your uncle!
My uncle!
The wildest reveal is probably the Delightful Children one, where you find out that they're just Kids Next Door operatives that Buddy stole and delightfulized, which is wild as fuck. This nigga just stole a bunch of kids. Hey, sorry, I'm gonna take your son for a while so he can beat up my nephew for me while I smoke out my pipe and wear an all-black bodysuit. Just be back by bedtime, okay. Watching the Delightful Children change back is so rough. This is one of those love letter to the show movies. I'm actually kind of surprised that a few of the other ones in this video aren't really like this compared to this one. The museum at the top has a bunch of references to earlier in the run. You get stuff like number 2 tampering with the age-defying birthday suits to make them work for this ongoing narrative. Every chance they get, there's a reference or maybe a character present that you wouldn't understand the importance of unless you were really into the show at the time. Out of all the references, this is probably my favorite one.
At this time, we would like to request that you hang on to your underwear.
Ah, it's so good. I love this shit. Man, I never realized how many times characters get like one-liners off in this show, but it does make sense since this show is just kind of a parody of a specific kind of action movie. And the batting average is pretty decent. There's only like 2 or 3 that really made me roll my eyes.
This is gonna be delightful.
Even you, my son, are 0 compared to me.
That may be, but my son is number 1!
I'm no number 0. I'm just a 0.
Oh, fucking brother.
Corny.
This thing really does take its time, and I mean that as a compliment. It does it in all the right ways. For the first 10 minutes, the only main character to speak is number 1. It takes time to introduce the concept of number 0, his brother and grandfather. It takes time to reintroduce the recommissioning module and make sure that we know it's a big deal. It's paced in a way to where you don't realize that you're halfway through until you actually check. But even then, there isn't a single thing I cut. This is probably the most brilliantly paced out of everything in this video. Operation Zero tells you pretty much immediately that this is a story about number 1. It's a story about his tendencies to react on impulse, his tendency to not listen to those around him when something is important to him. It's about what happens when he doesn't slow down, jumping to fix a problem or situation without bothering to understand what the situation is beforehand. He gets chewed out for this at Moonbase, and immediately after, he's caught by Father because everyone knows how impulsive he is, like bro saw it coming.
Poor, predictable Nigel Uno. I knew you'd try to retrieve the device, even if it wasn't operational.
But it's also about his selfishness. Listen to what bro was trying to write in the book of K&D.
5 words only. I am kids next door.
Like, damn, nigga, only you? Fuck. Throughout the movie, you see number 1 push away from his pops. It's almost like he's ashamed of him, while this man is just trying his damnedest to be the most wholesome, cheery dad on the face of the earth.
Dad! Will you just shut up so I can figure out how to save your life? What is the matter with you?
Nah, nigga soft. The journey these two go on after he finds out he's number 0 is really great to watch. You get to see why number 1 is as cool as he is, while also getting to see a new side of this character that rarely went past gags about how oblivious he is. In the end, number 1 tries to recommission him again to kind of keep him this way, but it doesn't work out, leading to this really powerful moment.
I would love to have tons more adventures with the super cool number 1 and his team, but I'm just not a kid anymore. And I need to complete the most important mission of my life, being a good father to my son.
I think since this story is about number 1 and fully about him, it really feels like Sector V falls to the wayside a little bit. I can absolutely forgive it since this is done in a way to take Nigel's character to new heights thematically, but I'd be lying if I said it wouldn't be cool to see them more often. Like, they get number 5 out of here before the halfway point, which is probably why I've always remembered her not really doing anything in this.
And number 1, I'm glad I'll never have to fight you. You're crazy.
Oh yeah, they definitely fight later. Why else would she say that? I love how during number 1's fight with the rest of Sector V while they're zombies, he's recounting all of their relationships. It really helps paint the connection that he's built with everyone over the course of the show, and why this is such a big heartbreaking moment.
You're the one that got me into the K&D! Who saved you from those bullies on your first day of school? You've been my best friend since kindergarten.
But except number 3, I guess. Bro just says her name, sad as hell. Nah, man, I feel like she should have won this fight. This would have made me want to spit on this nigga. Hey, if I had a nickel for every time an Asian character in one of these things only got 1 line to define their character traits, I'd have 2 of them shits.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
That joke's probably still funny to somebody, right? I think thematically what makes this movie so cool is that it's kind of saying that both number 1 and number 362 were right. Number 1's impulse is both what got them into this mess and what got them out. She was right to black on him earlier, but he was also right to trust himself before that. He has to learn the medium between trusting himself and being considerate of his team.
If you'd listen to me, we'd all be making tapioca right now. You believed in number 0 and saved not only the kids next door, but the world.
It was you that was right. I put myself before the team. And I couldn't have saved the world without them.
That's honestly pretty cool. They both size it in a way that doesn't jeopardize or contradict. The only thing wrong with this one for real is that it's not in widescreen, so They don't really get to go as hard as you know that they want to. This was already a big looking cartoon, a big sounding cartoon, especially as time went on and they started going to like the moon and shit. But I really appreciate the playing this one does with like the colors and lighting. The stuff with number 4, 3, and Tommy at the treehouse is where this really started to stand out for me.
Kiss me!
Oh, no. Nuh-uh. Nope, no way. Nah. Ain't gonna happen. Okay.
Man, men are the worst.
This is how my girl got me. Now we got a dog and shit. All of these background characters, several locations, and moving extras. This shit does look so good, but it must have been a production nightmare. Pull one out for the damn production coordinators. And pull one out for me too. Ain't nothing wrong with me, I'm just broke. Operation Zero is still exactly what you want it to be. It's still badass when it has to be, it's still heartwarming when it has to be. There's really no other way to put it. A solid 4 out of 5, and the only reason it's not a 5 out of 5 is because I'm not 7 years old anymore, experiencing all of these twists and turns for the first time. We'll probably never get those old emotions back, that excitement and fear. But to be honest, these new ones ain't that bad either. What a fucking movie.
It's the true story of how I found the Book of K&D and what I wrote in it. 5 words only. We are kids next door.
It's the Fairly Odd Parents all-new feature-length movie Channel Chasers on DVD, starring Timmy Turner like you've never seen him before. Plus a DVD exclusive on how to draw Timmy and 2 deleted scenes. Channel Chasers, available on DVD and VHS October 5th.
Man, I could've just did Abracatastrophe since that was first, but I feel like y'all ripped my fucking head off. 2004's Channel Chasers. Timmy Turner keeps fucking up and him and his parents fall out beefing, so he runs away inside television.
You know, there are easier ways to get on TV. Have you considered a slow-speed chase?
What has been going on down below as the presumed vehicle of O.J. Simpson is still traveling very slowly northbound along the 5 freeway.
This one is known for all of the TV cartoon parodies that Timmy jumps into, with the art direction shifting for every show. Tom and Jerry's, Sesame Street, Rankin Bass.
Oh boy, chocolate! I wouldn't if I were you!
Rugrats, Batman.
The kid-friendly world of walnuts.
Fuck, can I live, nigga? Damn!
No, I didn't hurt him.
Blop, 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 blop.
No, really, he fainted.
Blop, blop.
Do we have to involve the police?
Apparently that's a yes.
Guess which show this is, I dare you. If you say Family Guy, you're not funny or cute, and I hope you step on a fucking Lego.
This is the longest running animated show on television.
This joke is from 20 fucking years ago.
Hey, heavy half.
Oh, what they do to Fat Albert? This shit don't make me want to cry at all.
Don't make me use this.
Fam, the first show he went into is like a Jetsons and Sopranos parody. It low-key peaks here. This shit had me crying.
Hey, nice ship. It'd be a shame if something happened to it.
Are these niggas surfing on 2 Butch Hartman credits? If this nigga don't get a grip.
These credits are moving fast. They're animation credits. They go really fast because nobody cares about them.
The novelty of all of these cartoons and shows being referenced really does not wear thin to me at all. I was fully locked in the whole time. Every world where Timmy and his fairies don't necessarily adapt to the art style, they still manipulate the designs in subtle ways to let you know that it's still different. Shit, Wanda looking a little thick in some of these shits. I'll beat the shit out of Cosmo, nigga.
Buzz!
The darker opening to this thing with the grown-up Chester and AJ is super well done. I think comparatively to the Billy and Mandy movie that we talk about later, this one does a great job setting the stage and letting you know how high the stakes will be later.
Me, Vicky, supreme ruler of the earth.
Why she have to say her own name? Me, Vicky, we know, bro. You look the same. This really is Fairly Odd Parents in its purest fucking form. Vicky as the main villain, Timmy's parents together for a whole subplot, Chester and AJ. This is the cartoon I grew up with. Not that bullshit they was making when I was in college. I appreciate that both of the first movies have Timmy's parents come to terms with 2 of the main things going on in Timmy's life that they don't really know about. But this one is even better since they actually go through an arc instead of just, oh, that's where you got all that stuff we never paid for? We just thought you was robbing niggas, shit. I think this movie stumbles a little bit on its way to its resolution and moral, but I think it mostly works. Timmy goes through so many shows with idiot adults, irresponsible adults, non-existent ones, and the moral it's supposed to teach him is that his parents aren't any of those things. They care about him and they raised him properly, and that's why he is the way he is.
I'm even okay with growing up. I mean, Did you see what a cool adult I'm gonna be? But I only got that way because my parents raised me right.
While I don't think I exactly agree with this, since his parents really are idiots, and them not being around super often is literally why Vicky even exists to begin with, I do think that they do have his best interests at heart. They just rarely see him. At the top of the movie, they really hammer in this helicopter parenting stuff. After they see Timmy doing stuff that he saw on TV, they try to stop him so that he doesn't hurt himself. So I think with that, I think they do a pretty decent job setting up Timmy's realization of they're hard on you because they love you. They really do love him and care about his well-being. The moment they find out about how Vicky treats their son, they really lay into her. When he runs away, they're absolutely devastated. Their little message to him that they record live on TV is really sweet.
Please, we just want you to come home because. You more.
And I think the inclusion of adult Timmy, played by fucking Alec Baldwin, does a good job getting Timmy to that point thematically too. He's too old to remember Cosmo and Wanda, but he still has fond nostalgic memories of his parents. It gives him this perspective that he didn't really have before. In the end, with him reflecting on his past, not really remembering Cosmo and Wanda, but the little smile telling you that he at least remembers how they made him feel, it's so nice. Yeah, well, you know, it's too bad it doesn't fucking mean anything. I gotta say, it feels good to talk about something Fairly Odd Parents related that I actually like. Channel Chasers really is a good time. When this show is on, it's one of the most charming things from its era. A few things thematically that don't really work as much as you think they would. It kind of has the same end resolution as that Family Guy episode where Meg just accepts her abuse just because it's part of the natural order or some shit. But it's still fun, it's still sweet. It's probably the only movie in this video that'll make you nostalgic for multiple shows at once. Hey, also, is this gag about the cops being gay? Am I reading this right?
We can sit on the dumpster for hours and hours and talk about life.
Nah, this shit's soft. Niggas should've went at it like in the Simpsons movie.
So well.
Fuck me! Yeah, oh, no! Damn it! Get over there, Liza! Hurry up!
You just hear, Poe hears someone say, dragons.
Oh, baby! When an old nemesis rears his ugly head and takes away the only thing you love,
I can't believe you got me fired, Boogey.
the only thing left to do is
Network.
The Minotaur's my butler.
Billy and Mandy is a cartoon about two white kids who enslave a Jamaican. After losing the game of Limbo, the Grim Reaper is indebted to be these two kids' best friend for life. And bruh, I know they said he was white. I know y'all love to act like y'all telling somebody something. 2007 saw Billy and Mandy's Big Boogie Adventure. When they strip away Grim's job and give it to number 3 from Kids Next Door, Billy, Mandy, Grim, and I guess Irwin go out to seek Horror's hand. A gauntlet that's so powerful it'll make Grim the scariest Jamaican on the planet, and they have to give him his job back. Hey, they onto something in this movie. Grim was low-key washed. Bro, everybody stole that scythe.
Is it not true that not only was your scythe stolen by a headless man wearing a pumpkin on his neck, but it was also taken by Billy, Mandy, Irwin, Billy's father, Billy's mother, Billy's cousin, Billy's cat, Dracula?
Half of these are actual episodes. I would fire this nigga too, bro got butterfingers. I'ma just come out the gate and be honest here. I don't really know how I feel about this one this time around. I definitely loved it as a kid. I had it on repeat, I had the DVD, but this time around I found myself like checking the runtime way too much. There's an effort to make this look bigger than the show in some ways, I think. Some CGI during the opening chase, some interesting blocking every once in a while, this cool shot coming out of the cave. Like, it's not impossible to find things to appreciate animation wise, but honestly most of this is not beating the long episode allegations. The big moments in this kind of don't look any anything different from big moments in the show. There's like this filter over the whore's hand stuff that kind of makes it look cinematic in some shots, but also kind of makes it look like a 2011 Instagram post in other ones. And the opening credits though, those are so good. Probably my favorite opening out of everything in this video. That The Land of the Dead record is on a different level of nostalgia. Niggas really just had to be there. You think he'd be annoying as an adult, but Billy was low-key carrying this shit on his back. He is real funny in this.
I like cruise ships because you get a buffet and it has shrimp.
The buffet has shrimp? I think...
No, you don't.
Love makes people do all sorts of stupid things.
I love everything.
That explains a lot.
Order! I'll have a double cheeseburger animal style, but not if the animal is a porcupine or a weasel or anything, because then it would hurt when you put it in your mouth.
The slow part of the Scario scene, that song he sings on a pirate ship, always makes me laugh. Even as a kid, I kind of rolled my eyes at the sequence when it first started, but when this nigga put the makeup on and the pirate's throwing the lighters up, it always cracks my shit up.
I'm not scared! I can use something to eat! I'm really hungry!
Bruh, same. Where my phone at? Hold up. Hey, y'all want something? I'm about to fuck with this Wendy's. Yeah, no, I'll order it. Just cash out me the bread and shit. On the other end of things, though, this was not Irwin's finest hour at all. This nigga had me hot the whole time.
What are we gonna do, yo? Players don't get eaten by cyclopses.
Oh my gosh, bruh.
Your Huggy Bear is here to maul you with love, yo.
See, this that swirl propaganda. Somebody better get Dr. Umar on the phone. Irwin kissing Mandy might be some of the worst shit I've ever seen in my life. This Billy and Mandy shit got my blood boiling.
With its powers, I could be someone again.
And I could scare people into thinking I'm smart.
I could use it to, make someone love me, yo.
Make? Oh my god, yo. You know they got your mans. They got your mans on sex assault charges.
I think my real issue with this movie, and it is a pretty big one if I'm being honest with you, is that it doesn't do much to really feel like a movie. And granted, part of that might be because I watched Soda Drama and Big Picture Show before it. We talked about the scope of the animation, but like beyond that, in every other movie in this video, they tried to use the story in longer format to really tell us something about the characters in ways that they couldn't have done before. That's how you get Timmy reflecting on how he was raised. That's how you get number one in his relationship with his pops. The most we get in terms of character relationship stuff, I think, is the moment where Mandy thinks Billy is dead. Kind of just like the only time in this series where we understand that she actually cares about him. But I swear, that shit is like 30 seconds. This nigga pops out yapping and she's right back to model sheet mad face. And right, you know, like, okay, cool. So Billy and Mandy was never really that kind of show. So what could you really expect, right? I mean, neither was Ed, Edd and Eddy and they still did it, but sure, Billy and Mandy is a silly cartoon. They get a silly, stupid movie. But yeah, in that case, then I think at the very least, I think it'd be cool if this thing just flowed a bit more like a movie. It's just kind of things happening to everybody. Kind of like I was saying about Fairly Odd Baby last time, in case you actually watch these stupid ass videos. I am down for a silly movie with no heart. I could have a great time with something like that, but it really just feels like nothing happens. There's no real connecting threads, nothing rewarding you for paying attention. They set stuff up that really doesn't go anywhere. The future Billy that's in the opening shows up at the end and pretty much does nothing. And while I think that's probably the joke, this thing that looks like it's gonna be a main function in the film just kind of boils down to nothing. But a joke about wasting everyone's time is still wasting everyone's time. Hey, playing Boogie Wonderland during the credits is such a funny yet inspired choice though. This nigga Irwin caught mono? Man, our cartoons were weird. I feel like I'm letting myself down. I thought I'd have more to say about this Big Boogie shit. I mean, I laughed a bit. Of course it's funny, it's Billy and Mandy. But I don't know, this just kind of feels like one of those where everything happens yet nothing happens. Not a bad time at all and super nostalgic if you grew up with the show back in the day. But that's kind of where my praises end for real. It's like these niggas saw everything every other movie in this video did and said, nah.
I'm gonna do my own thing.
And that thing was fucking farts or some shit. Poo butt ass niggas.
Well, that really burns me up.
Cartoon Network is proud to present a weekend of all things Ed.
It's totally worth it, Double D!
This weekend, we're breaking out all your favorite episodes of Ed, Edd and Eddy all weekend long.
Wow!
And it all leads up to the world premiere of Ed, Edd and Eddy's Big Picture Show, Sunday night at 7.
It's like a fairy tale come true!
Don't miss Ed, Edd and Eddy's Big Picture Show Weekend Marathon. Saturday and Sunday starting at noon, only on Cartoon Network.
In April 2007, Cartoon Network aired a marathon of every single episode of their popular show, Ed, Edd and Eddy, leading up to what was called their final episode, A Fistful of Ed. I talk about that one here. It got claimed after being up for 5 hours, that's why the Phineas part starts weird. Eventually, an episode from their one-episode season 6 would air, but in November 2009, we got their finale movie, Ed, Edd and Eddy's Big Picture Show, which I saw a year early up on YouTube in 9 parts. I know some of y'all had to have caught that shit too. I don't know who buddy was that uploaded that shit back then, but I've prayed for you every night of my life for the past 15 years.
Whoever you are, thank you.
After a scam that we never see goes really, really bad, the Eds go on the run in an effort to find Eddie's brother, who Eddie says will protect them while the other kids hawk them down.
Rolf will unearth the Ed boys and squash them like the parasites that infest Wilfred's Tugas. This is Rolf's word. Dog.
Eddie talks his brother up the whole movie. It's so rough seeing this with the context when you like find out that he's an asshole at the end.
My big bro would never let anything happen to me. And I'll tell you what, I'll put in a good word for you two.
Thank you, Eddie. Your brother certainly is a kind, upstanding, and generous human being.
Ah, fuck.
Good idea! I forgot my big bro hates backdoors.
Hey, that nigga don't know what he missing. Watch out now. This movie had it all, I can't lie. Strong character moments, gorgeous animation, the fucking reveal of Eddie's brother, give me a damn break. I remember when a picture of this nigga leaked online, that shit was my lock screen. Also, mild pop culture references? It's not really normal for this cartoon, right?
The hills are alive, Eddie! Yeah, with the sounds of an idiot. Can we go now? My bro will make us eat a barnacle if we show up while he's watching Matlock.
Really?
Matlock? How old is this nigga? This nigga brother 65. No, I'm not even gonna talk about them playing in my face with the shit with Double D's hat. I got all that anger out in therapy already. But yeah, the cankers dragging Eddie's brother into the crib at the end. It's pretty rough. I don't really gotta explain why, right? Most of you niggas are on y'all third blunt. I gotta keep dancing. They do a great job setting up Double D's arc throughout the movie. I high-key think he's the true MVP of this thing, if I'm being honest. He does all of the heavy lifting throughout the story, probably outside of Ed in the car chase. Yet his homeboys just keep giving him their ass to kiss low-key. It's him that puts the clues together that lead them to going to the gag factory. It's him who, when they get there, is really on task, trying to see if he can find out where Eddie's brother is. And while this is happening, Ed and Eddie are being relentlessly thoughtless and immature, scaring him at the gag factory, laughing at his tool, literally traumatizing this nigga into thinking they passed away because he wasn't quick enough to save him, which is enough to break him. And I get it, I probably would have threw a mailbox at these niggas. This leads to the blow up between Eddie and Double D, which I think is super well done too. It's probably the part I think about the most. It's enhanced by everything going on in the story, but if you've been watching the show for years, this is just kind of something you were waiting on. When Eddie and Ed fake their death, Double D turns around and tries to head home, and Eddie, not seeing how serious bro is, taps him on the shoulder.
Don't you dare touch me! A sap? Well, excuse my sincerity for thinking I had lost the only two people I have left in this world.
And?
You and your nefarious scams!
Like you were picking daisies. You built the stupid thing!
If you had paid attention to what I said and not pushed the red button!
I love that Eddie instantly starts to tear up the second Double D turns his back on him. It's the first time in the whole run where we really get to see how much he means to him as a friend, and it's really all in his face. He doesn't have to say anything, the drawings are loud enough, but when he does, it is so rough.
Fine! Go home! I don't blame you, because everything was my fault!
And one thing I didn't realize is that bro doesn't even say sorry. An apology is not how they piece it up. He just accepts blame, he takes accountability, and that's enough for Double D. Not because he doesn't deserve an apology, but because he knows how hard it is for Eddie to be honest with himself.
Are those salt deposits from your lamentation? Gotcha!
This is next level character writing. It's so well put together. And I think the end of this movie is such a great expansion on the themes that this scene plays with. It is so nice to see all of the kids in the neighborhood essentially congratulating Eddie on being vulnerable. They spend the entire movie wanting to rip this nigga's fucking head off because of what he did to them. But at least he did something to them. The very second they see how he's treated by his own family, someone he clearly confides in, that he looks up to, someone that he did nothing to, they instantly recognize that he does not deserve it. They realize at the same time as the audience that he did everything throughout this show for their approval and he never got it. He was getting beat up at home and only had 2 friends when he went outside, and all bro wanted was validation. This is an incredibly strong arc. I cannot believe how great this is.
When am I gonna learn, Double D?
I think you just have, Eddie.
Double D's note to his parents at the top of this thing is probably the most heartbreaking thing in the entire series, and I almost never hear anyone talk about it. His voice actor is acting his damn ass off. The way his performance goes from sadness and gradually builds up to so much regret and anger. And the way they use his extensive vocabulary to really push this with so many adjectives. Fuck, this show is good.
Reprehensible, abhorrent, detrimental, detestable, immoral, thoughtless, hurtful! You want to be done!
Sam Vincent honestly gives a monumental performance as Double D throughout this movie, and I mean that so sincerely. It is incomprehensible what he is able to do with this performance throughout this thing. Listen to Double D cry when he thinks Ed and Eddie have sunk into the quicksand. How did bro not take home an Annie or something for this shit?
Where are you, Eddie? Ed! Oh, don't you give up on me! Answer me!
The character acting throughout this thing, especially on, again, Double D, is just freaking unbelievable. This is one of those cartoons that always give you something fun to look at, while also doing such a great job trying not to overwhelm you. They really know how to reel it back or push in the right ways. But even then, there's so much slapstick.
I'm really starting to hate slapstick.
It's honestly an achievement in itself that they're able to sell us on Eddie getting beat up by his brother because of how much slapstick there is in this movie and how drastic the slapstick can be. No, I did not steal that from a Twitter reply. What do you take me for? Colors? The colors are great. The gag factory, the night stuff, the sunset with Kevin and Naz.
Kev, sorry I slapped you. It's been like such a crazy day today.
No fooling.
No fooling.
Even at the start, the opening to this shit is real life terrifying. The radio silence, the hard cuts to damage, the ants getting louder. Such a great juxtaposition to the rest of the cartoon. And it's followed with the chase scene, which is just fucking amazing. You really feel the fear and dread that the Eds feel. The sound design and music are doing numbers throughout this whole sequence. Like, listen to this music cue when the kids walk past Eddie's house. It's like this the whole sequence, but the animation is really doing so much heavy lifting. This shit is so expressive. All of the kids get something to do in the story on their way to find the Eds. Sarah and Jimmy actually missed this game. They just want to see these niggas get beat up. But then the Kankers lock in and scoop them up. Lee giving Sarah a wet willy is so fucking gross. I hate this shit. This is the type of shit I be doing at Hats Off Media. They gave Kevin the subplot about loving his bike more than his girl, which I cannot relate to because I can't ride a bike.
Not my bike!
I'll get it! I think I can reach it, Kev.
Naz is so full of shit. Girl, you ain't reaching shit. Stop playing in my face. Actually, the more I think of it, the more interesting I think it'd be for both characters in this if they tried to do something with Rolf and Johnny together. Since most of this is really focused on character pairings, and the two of them are just kind of off on solo missions. And because they're alone, they're like easily the least fun parts to follow. Like, what's the most interesting thing that happens to both of them? This nigga cracks an egg and this nigga jumps on the Greyhound. Shit, I could see both of those downtown Newark for free. Shit, I could do both of those downtown Newark for free. Hey, look, I don't really know how to put this, but I am fucked up over the big picture show. I am blown away by the emotions that seeing this thing dragged out of me. This thing is unfucking believable. It's the perfect place for these characters to go. It's the perfect recontextualization of the main characters and their relationships to each other. It's pretty, it's sweet, it's funny. I don't think I will ever feel like this again. If you were close to this series like I was as a kid and it somehow got away from you as an adult, I am quite literally begging you to go find it and watch it again. This shit hit different. The nostalgia and love for these characters will attack you and eat you alive. There will never be another cartoon like this. And if there is, please do not send it to me, because I only want this one.
Second verse, same as the first.
This one's a little personal. Today's indie animation highlight is a little series called MAX DOLLARZ, created by my homeboy Omar B. A show about a kid named Max with his older brother Chris, little sister Jade, badass mama. and 3 best friends, Jake, Bria, and Hot Kid. Yeah, they keep calling him Hot Kid, and I have no idea if that's what it says on his birth certificate. If you're looking for something warm and cozy, maybe even something for your kids, this is absolutely the cartoon for you. This is probably the most cozy black cartoon ever created, and honestly, yeah, that even includes mine. Omar has been at it with Max Dollars for years, grinding away, voicing several characters, writing and animating pretty much solo. This cartoon has a lot of heart and a lot of love poured into it. You really do just have to admire the dedication. I always liked how expressive these characters get later on. This shit is so creative. Especially Jake, bro be ugly as hell. You can watch Max Dollars on YouTube on the Max Dollars 11 channel. Please pull up and show it some love. There's a ton of episodes out there and they'll all make you smile. A wholesome kind of black animation that you probably didn't know you needed, but I promise that you do.
Everyone's favorite football head is back.
This is incredible. Everyone's here.
Same lovable gang.
Out of my way, hair boy!
On a whole new adventure.
My parents. Are they alive? I have to know. Come on. How do you feel about me?
Hey Arnold, the Jungle Movie premieres this Thanksgiving on Nick Everywhere.
It's that gifted boy hit. Always on that present-ish. Treat every day like a holiday. And I just got my settlement.
Jungle Movie, huh? Shit, how much time you got? I have to really preface this. Hey Arnold was my favorite cartoon for years. And the only reason it's still not is because BoJack Horseman exists now. So when the Jungle Movie got announced and dropped in 2017, I think I might have shit myself. In '98, Nickelodeon asked Craig Bartlett to make 2 Arnold movies. One for TV, one for theaters. They fucked with the TV one that they put together so much, they dropped that in theaters and told him to do a lead-in episode for the other movie, and they dropped that in theaters too. So they did. The series finale of Hey Arnold, The Journal from 2002 ends with a cliffhanger. After years of not knowing where they are and not knowing this nigga's last name, Arnold finds a map to where his parents might be.
Grandma! Grandpa! You have to see this! I found a map!
Fuck! In the mid-2010s, when Nickelodeon decided to milk some bread out of this nostalgia-ridden cesspool that we call our generation, the Jungle Movie was a no-brainer to come into existence. They did Zim and Rocco too. Rocco was kind of a bold choice, but that shit was the hardest one low-key, so fuck do I know. A year or two later into the future, Arnold finds out about a humanitarian competition that could send him and his classmates to San Lorenzo, where his parents disappeared. He enters by building a crib for Monkey Man that all the other homeless niggas violate.
Monkey Man!
Hey, Arnold, where are you going? That was my last chance to find my parents.
Damn, so fuck Monkey Man, huh? I mean, he deaf about to die, but yeah, sure. Parents. Helga leaps into action to help Arnold by using footage that she recorded. Apparently, she's been filming him the whole show. Yeah.
Whoa, that's Arnold's bedroom.
Hey, what the fuck? I still get teary-eyed during the video portion. It's like a really sweet short retrospective of the show, going over moments that are engraved in my brain, showing just how good of a kid Arnold is. It's really cool and satisfying to see some of these things reanimated.
He's a humanitarian, just like his parents, and the helpers for humanity.
Monkey Man!
Hey Arnold, you're a bold kid and a true hero.
And it's around the 27-minute mark where this shit just starts to unravel before your very eyes into some wild fantasy type shit. I swear, before this, the weirdest thing about this cartoon was that this nigga's head was shaped like a football. They really end up chosen one-ing Arnold too, which they really didn't have to do. Like, the nigga made the contest specifically to find Arnold. The green-eyed people specifically prophesize Arnold. It's like written on the walls that he's supposed to pull up and save them. Like, where the fuck is all of this coming from? There are multiple deaths, including the villain. This nigga gets an arrow in his head, falls off a cliff, comes back, and falls off the fucking cliff again. Long live this nigga, I guess.
He died the way he lived, full of poison.
Whatever, bro. Like, he not the only one. At least Dino faked this death shit. Niggas just lazy, bro. Get up, you ain't dead. I do appreciate that though. This time around, they found a way to work the entire cast into the story, because that really is one of my main issues with the first movie. The plan Phoebe puts together around the middle, where they have to find a way to escape when they're captured, for example, is great, and a cool way to show everybody's personality and what they're good at. You get the grandparents, Helga's parents. It does a way better job understanding that the appeal of Hey Arnold is not just Arnold, it's everybody. There's a big arc with Arnold and Helga in this thing too that I think I mostly like. Both movies have plots where Helga helps Arnold, showing how much she cares, and I appreciate how in this one it's front and center instead of her doing these things in the background. I think the first version of the kiss scene that we get in the first movie is honestly better executed than what we got here. You know, even though it doesn't fucking mean anything, remember that? I think it's clever that both of these situations come from Arnold reflecting on something nice that Helga did for him, and just him grappling with trying to understand why.
You just risked everything to help me save the neighborhood. So, what's your point? That's a pretty amazing thing to do for someone you claim to hate.
Yeah, well, I'm a pretty amazing person, football head.
And points to the Jungle movie for not having Arnold being forced into the kiss. But I do think that in the Jungle movie, these moments are just kind of isolated. Helga confesses her love right before the movie gets into the meat of its plot. It's literally interrupted by the plot kicking in.
I love! There's a bull coming!
And Arnold confronts her about it after the movie pretty much already happened. They try not to let you forget about this thread of the plot by making them stare at each other for a little bit before they're about to die, but nah, I'm not jacking this. These niggas are like they off K2 big ass pupils.
I feel nothing.
Helga still has the same locket with Arnold's pilot design, which I think is very funny, especially since they definitely updated it as the show went on. I think her ripping it up and throwing it away is a little bit too melodramatic for my taste, but I really love the moment where she realizes that it's gone. Some great sound design and expression work.
Oh, Arnold, you magnificent specimen! I'm coming for you!
And I think Brainy saving it and giving it back to Helga later is really sweet, so it's definitely a net positive. See, I think the colors are great. They go for more muted tones on the characters for a lot of this, which I think is a really good choice. A lot of the environments are so gorgeous, especially in San Lorenzo. This shit is very pretty. Do I wish the colors were a little grimier to reflect the better looking episodes of the cartoon? Absolutely, but it's definitely better than the first movie. But I also don't think I'm a fan of how rounded these character designs are now. How an expression that would have looked super sharp and dynamic on Helga 20 years ago is just kind of softened, friendlier, and round. A bunch of this just kind of looks off to me, and I'm pretty sure it's because they're following different design philosophies than before. The worst crime though is definitely the CGI. This shit look like Crash Bandicoot. Nigga, this shit? Oh my god, I feel like I'm about to throw up just thinking about it. Whoa. Whatever, nigga. They float the timeline for this one. The kids are only like a year or two older, but it still takes place in 2017 instead of the late 90s or early 2000s, which is only really annoying if you think about it too hard. They do a great job showing how the new parts of our culture affect these kids and adults from 20 years ago. I love Big Bob being washed since nobody buys beepers anymore. I love Rhonda being the one who's always on her phone taking pictures of herself.
He helped me get over myself. Now I'm tolerant, gracious, and self-effacing. Oh, and humble. I'll get a copy of this, right?
I think my big issue with this movie is that for 2/3 of it, despite the music and characterization still being intact, it still feels like a different cartoon. All of these fantasy elements just do not do it for me. I feel like it's running away from made the cartoon so cool. Like, man, the first episode of this shit had them niggas jump on the city bus in fruit costumes. It's so frustrating to me that we'll never get a Hey Arnold movie that feels like a Hey Arnold movie the whole time. It's always like the first 20 minutes that feels right, and it's like they're insecure about the lower stakes of the show, trying to make it bigger than what it actually is, but I swear, you don't have to do that. If the first Hey Arnold movie was just them putting together Blockapalooza and saving the neighborhood, we have flying cars by now. And if the Jungle movie was just Arnold and his class traveling to San Lorenzo, finding clues and picking up the pieces to find Arnold's parents, I own the damn flying car dealership. And it's not like it's just some, oh, they just came back later shit. You look at the test animation and concept art from when this was initially canceled, this is this movie. They made the version of the story, or at least something close to it, as we would have gotten it if the show didn't end. But I don't know if that makes me feel better. But at the same time, I think the real question is it even possible to watch this as a fan of Hey Arnold and not feel something? Is it possible to be attached to this kid and his story and not be overcome with emotion over some of this shit? I remember as a teenager, back when Doug Walker first started doing Disney-cember, I remember him saying something about Snow White being a story fueled by emotion. We love plots now that make sense, that have through lines, that feel earned and rewarded, but Snow White doesn't have any of those things, yet we still love it because it's a narrative that goes in directions that would satisfy your emotions. Is that manipulative? Shit, probably, but so is every movie to a degree. But what about Jungle Movie? I mean, there's some of that plot stuff in here, but I think the way you feel about Arnold, his friends, his grandparents, that's what really drives how you react to this. That's what you'll walk away from this remembering. This watch, I went into it the most cynical I've ever gone into it. I threw it on last out of everything in this video, with the same headspace of, man, this is barely like the cartoon at a certain point. But you know what? Even after going in wanting to be objective and critical this time, I still felt the exact same emotions I felt in 2017. I still get goosebumps during the kid's video to Arnold. I still felt my face get hot when his parents woke up. I know some people think this is dumb or corny, but I'm sorry. This is such a powerful and well thought out moment.
Hey, Arnold.
Fuck, man, it's so good. I still have my issues and I don't think they just disappear because I feel things, but I'm also so fascinated that it still makes me feel things regardless of my long list of problems. And like, isn't that just kind of what this cartoon is? Isn't it just something that tells stories about how kids really feel, the real emotions, neglect, heartbreak, fear? If you're feeling something, is it not just Hey Arnold? Did they not do their job just because this doesn't take place in the neighborhood? And after all of this, is it even fair to look at this movie for what it's not instead of specifically focusing on what it is? I honestly have no idea, and I'm walking out of this a bit more open-ended than I usually like to be. But I do think I like the Jungle Movie. I do. I think I'm gonna step back and stamp that. It has a lot of things I like, a few things that make me roll my eyes, and a few things that move me to tears. And while enough time has definitely passed to where we can take the fan goggles off and truly just see how it measures up to the cartoon, I will forever be grateful, no matter how I or anybody else feels about it, that we actually got to see it. For better or for worse, this cartoon is complete. And how could you possibly hate that?
We'll be waiting right here.
And guess what? I still ain't watched the movie. The last time I seen it, I was 6.
All right, the video over. Everybody go home.
That everyone's stop.
It is impossible.
No, but real close. This rage train ain't stopping till I thump those 3 dwarfs.
I always wondered if maybe you were mean to me because you loved me.
My son is number 1!
First things first, eye popper, freaks all the honeys, dummies, playboy bunnies, those wanting money. Those the ones I like cause they don't get Nathan but penetration. Unless it smells like sanitation, garbage I turn like doorknobs. Heartthrob never, black and ugly as ever. However, I stay coochie down to the socks, rings and watch filled with rocks. And my jam knocking your Mitsubishi. Girls pee-pee when they see me, Navajos creep me in they teepee. As I lay down laws like Island Coppet. Stop it if you think they're gonna make a profit.
You the goat, Mama D, and you the cat, you so good.
Yeah, she was. Then split it in 2 as I flow with the junior mafia. I don't know what the hell's stopping ya. I'm clocking ya, Versace shade watching ya. Once you grin, I'm in, game begins. First I talk about how I dress is this and diamond necklaces, stretch Lexuses. The sex is just immaculate from the back I get.